This bioactive baby tortoise enclosure I made a few videos ago does not look so bioactive anymore. That's because all these little guys are little lawnmowers and they love destroying all of the plants. That's the only plant they didn't like, so it survived this long. But everything else that was green is no longer in existence, other than the cactus as well, because it's pretty big and thick, so they can't get through it. But the bigger concern is how many baby tortoises we have in here. Obviously, we're starting to hatch out a lot more baby tortoises because it's peak of the season right now, and we even have more little baby tortoises hatching out as we speak. So we definitely need to upgrade the enclosures for all the new babies that are hatching out, as well as the old ones. Before that, we're of course going to give all the baby tortoises a bath. This is exactly how I like to soak my tortoises, half in the shade and half in the sun, so that these guys could choose whether they like to get some UVB or if they want to get cooled off. One thing to keep in mind while doing this is that the sun does move, so you want to keep an eye on the movement of the sun so that it doesn't completely cover your baby tortoise and cook them. Here we have 53 beautiful little sulcata tortoises, and we have 25 redfoot tortoises. Unlike the normal redfoot tortoise, they're yellow, as you can see. They're not yellowfoots, they are Colombian redfoots. So they're just yellow redfoots, which is pretty cool. And I also have some beautiful regular redfoot tortoises, as you can see. If you guys are interested in any of these tortoises, make sure you check out shadowsreptiles.com. Have a bunch of sulcatas as well. These guys, although they all have unique personalities and patterns, they're not as noticeable as the redfoot tortoises, because as you can see, there's a lot of difference between redfoots. The sulcatas, for the most part, unless they have extra scutes or some cool patterns like that, they look pretty similar. If you guys are interested in any of these tortoises, make sure you go ahead and check out shadowsreptiles.com. You'll be able to find them all available on there. Please, if you guys are interested in any of these guys, make sure you do your research. They are living animals, and it's very important to be responsible with them. They're easy to care for, but that does not mean that you can neglect their care. If you guys want to read some quick and simple to understand care guides, make sure you go to shadowsreptiles.com. I get straight to the point, and I'll teach you guys the best way to set them up, a few things that you can feed them on a weekly basis to make sure they're healthy, and a few other things. So make sure you go check it out. I also have a bunch of videos on YouTube. If you go to the written article on shadowsreptiles.com, you'll be able to find all the most important links that I have on my YouTube channel. You can also visit the tortoise care playlist directly on my YouTube channel. You guys will find links to everything in the description. This is the enclosure I'm gonna be using for all the baby tortoises. I already put in some fresh cypress mulch. That's my favorite substrate. Usually you can find cypress mulch at a really good price at local nurseries or at Home Depot, but I know in some states and other places it's very hard to find, so I do offer it on shadowsreptiles.com. Unfortunately, it is something bulky and hard to ship, so it is a little bit pricey since I have to ship it out. That's only if you guys can't find it anywhere else. Usually Home Depot, Lowe's, and garden stores, places like that, carry all natural cypress mulch, which is what you should be looking for your baby tortoises. Of course, there's a lot of reptile brands out there that make substrates specifically for reptiles, and those frankly are a bit overpriced, and these work just the same. It's all natural cypress mulch, so if you can find it cheaper at Home Depot, just make sure it has no extra added colors and no chemicals on it, and it'll be a perfect substrate. And again, it has to be cypress mulch. There's a lot of mulches from like eucalyptus trees and pine trees that are not safe for tortoises because they have a lot of sap and it's sticky and messy for the tortoises. So I always use cypress mulch. It's the one I've been using for years, and it always works great for me, and it's easily accessible to me. So just do your research and look for whatever substrate will be best suited for you. For the hide, I'm gonna be using this half log and throwing this on this side. On this side, we're gonna go ahead and put this little plastic. We're not going to add the ramp. This is going to be a nice big hide for our 75 baby tortoises. These babies look about ready to come out. A lot of them are flipped over. Let's go ahead and flip these guys back. These guys are crazy. As you can see, they poop a lot when they're soaked. So that's a good way to get some bowel movement if your baby tortoise is not pooping for you, or at least you haven't seen it. Soaking in 15-20 minutes every day will hopefully eventually get you some nice poop inside of their water. Let's go ahead and put all these babies back in their enclosure. Just want to add one more thing before I do that. That, of course, is a hibiscus plant. This is going to help block some of the sun so that these guys have a lot of access to shade. It's very important to have a lot of both. You want at least half shade and half sun. That being said, I still only like to take my babies out either early in the morning or later in the evening when the sun isn't too hot. You don't want to do it around noon when it's scorching hot, that if these guys were to like flip over or stay under the sun for too long, they could cook. You want to do it when it's not too hot. Mornings and afternoons is the best time to take your baby tortoises outside. Finally, time to put all these little babies into their new enclosures. We have a time lapse going here.
The next day.
The beauty of this enclosure is I could take it out and put these guys half in the sun and half in the shade. They'll be able to enjoy some natural sunlight while they eat, as well as I could just mist them down with the hose. Makes it a lot simpler when I have a lot of baby tortoises. I could also soak them a lot easier since they're all together than keeping them all inside in a bunch of different enclosures, since you know there is a lot of them. Go ahead and lift the hide and spray it down in here as well. These guys love and need the humidity. In the wild, remember, they would be in burrows most of the time, so it's actually very humid, even though they are from the desert. Well, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a like. If you didn't, please leave a comment with some future suggestions. Make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications, and have a great day.